This is Martin Ose from Cresa, Corporate Real Estate Advisors. This video is part of a series called Cresa Cares, which we've put together with friends of ours from a variety of different industries, including HR, finance, construction, manufacturing, legal, and of course our own expertise, which is project management and corporate real estate. The content in these videos will help your firm survive COVID-19 and ultimately emerge positioned for success. Thank you for joining us on Cresa Cares.
This is Nick Quain, who is, I've seen various titles. I've seen Mentor-in-Chief and Vice President of Venture Developments, various different versions of Invest Ottawa bios. Nick has agreed to join us to talk about a program that Invest Ottawa is bringing to Ottawa businesses called Digital Main Street. So let's kick it off. Nick, why don't you tell us from 10,000 feet, what is Digital Main Street?
Yeah, so Digital Main Street, first off, thanks for having me, Martin. Digital Main Street is a program that's actually been in place for several years that was put in place to help Main Street businesses. You think of hospitality, your restaurants, your retailers, your salons, your hair, these types of places that have foot traffic coming in off main arteries, upgrade their digital tools. So, the initial version of the program several years ago essentially was a training tool that allowed these business owners or one of their family members or one of their team members to build out their own e-commerce site, their own website, their own digital marketing tools using Google, Facebook, and Google My Business, which is, fundamental one for being able to find, for people being able to find your business, to get that sort of 1.0 version of digital tools up and running. And it was a very successful program over the last several years. But the limitation of that program was always that it depended on the business owner or a member of their team or family to have the time, the inclination, and the skills to apply themselves to go through this training and build out all of these tools. So what we've done, given COVID and working with, this is funded by the federal government through FedDev Ontario, and it's a pan-Ontario program that's being launched, and Invest Ottawa is helping to run it across Eastern Ontario, is that instead of asking these restaurateurs or retail owners or salon owners or whomever to build it themselves, we're combining the fact that there's all of these students and recent grads out of work, many of whom are skilled in using these tools, and we're building out essentially digital teams capable of building out websites, building out an e-commerce site, building out your digital ads and your ad campaign, email marketing campaigns, online content, shooting photos, videos, all these things that, these business owners need help right now. They don't have time. They need an extra set of hands and obviously a different set of skills in those hands. So it's essentially a digital agency for absolutely free for these Main Street businesses to be able to build out their website and build out all of these tools. It's like this one-time kind of opportunity where they can tap in and be able to up their digital game, not only for the short term to be able to re-engage customers or new customers, but also part of strategizing for the future, right? So we're not.
So you had me at free, by the way. I am a little small business owner, and I'm in. I don't know much more than that, but I like the word free. So this sounds brilliant. So you're essentially tying together the talent, which is people who are young and understand how to work the digital machinery, with companies that really haven't got there yet and really need to get there now in COVID-19. So that kudos. That's absolutely amazing. So is this something that's available across the board? I mean, is it just? I mean, COVID-19's really hurt retailers. Is it available to everybody, or is
there are some eligibility criteria for different parts of the program, but in general, so it's not available to massive national chains or corporate stores. It's meant to be focused on the smaller, locally owned businesses with different thresholds of of, typically up to 25 employees, but there are some different elements of the program that can go beyond businesses that are beyond 25 employees and some below. And, there's sort of a basics of delivering your 1.0 version, and then there's a deeper strategic custom sort of tools that can be built as well. So depending on the companies can go through the registration process to see everything that they're eligible for. There's also grants available. Now, we're not administering those ourselves, but they can be done in conjunction with what's being built. So the grants of up to $2,500 that a business can go apply for as part of this. So if you think we built out a digital ad campaign for a business, they could go get a grant for $2,500 to fund the first $2,500 of that local or international, whatever their focus is, ad campaign.
So at the end of the day, you can build it with your program, and then there's even money available to actually do the media buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Advertising lingo.
Yeah.
So that sounds incredible. What's the uptake on this? Are there lots of companies coming through you guys?
Well, you're getting the sneak peek here, Martin. So this hasn't even actually gone live yet. There's an element of the program called Shop Here, where companies can sign up to get their early sort of first version of their e-commerce site and Google Ads and Facebook ad campaigns set up. That is available right now through Digital Main Street. So you just Google Digital Main Street and anyone can find it, and there's a registration there. A lot of this is really just coming online in August.
Love it.
So it's going to be running until March 2021. So over the next 9 months, it's a relatively short program when you think of these government-funded programs they can put in place. It's this emergency response to help Main Street in this critical time that allow us to lean in and help them immediately upgrade their tools and start engaging with their customers and growing revenue.
Again, I mean, this is great. This is really wonderful stuff. Are you the exclusive? Are you the one who puts this forward, or are there a bunch of people in Ottawa?
Well, there's a bunch of partners across Ontario that are launching it. So Invest Ottawa is, for the most part, looking after Eastern Ontario. An organization called Launch Lab in Kingston, which is looking after, who we're working with closely, that's looking after sort of that area. And then you've got Communitech in Kitchener-Waterloo. You've got a bunch of different organizations in Toronto and some others up north. So each area of the province essentially has a regional hub that's kicking this program off. But it's not just for Ottawa. We'll obviously work with companies, going out to Cornwall and Hawkesbury, up to Renfrew, Pembroke, Carleton Place, Smith Falls. There's lots of Main Street businesses in those towns and areas that need help as well.
Fantastic. I know I'm sure we're going to have it posted by the time this is on air, but can you just explain how people would get a hold of you or whoever they should get?
Yeah. So the easiest thing is just to Google right away, Digital Main Street, click on that link for Digital Main Street, and there'll be a registration process there for all across Ontario. And then that registration link gets sent to the appropriate regional hub, and then we follow up with that organization to work with them. And
I can tell, for the people watching, I guarantee you that's available. I started registering as soon as I heard it was free. So
I had you in free, didn't I, Martin?
You did. You really did. Everyone does. It's my Achilles heel. Let's see. I don't know if I have a whole lot of other questions.
Well, I think the other thing to mention, Martin, is that's a bit of an additional value is beyond these digital teams, is we're also working with business advisors and digital experts. So, and that's really the glue that comes together. A lot of business owners, they hear all these things, they go, sounds great, but I'm not sure what to do. Like, I don't know what I need. And not everybody should build all of these things that I just rhymed off right away, right? There's a bit of a strategic process that has to, or at least some thought that needs to be put on in terms of what should be built so that you have the capacity to actually use it, right? And figure out what the right path forward is. So as part of this process, these businesses can meet with some of our business advisors and digital leads really quickly to be able to just get a quick idea of what the state of the business is. What do you have in place right now? Who's your customer base? So we can quickly triage what to put in place. The other thing that we're doing is we're doing roundtables, workshops, and webinars. By the time this airs, our first webinar would have already taken place, but we brought in a gentleman by the name of Howie Kahn, who runs an international podcast called Takeaway Only with the thought leaders in the restaurant industry right now over the last 6 months. So he's interviewed hundreds of thought leaders in hospitality, and taking from them, this webinar is key learning he's learned from these restaurants in terms of what they're doing. Like some are launching food trucks, some are doing subscription models for food and wine kits. Some of them have unique models of how they figured out how to do delivery instead of using Uber Eats and giving up 30%. So these are the types of things we're going to be bringing in experts like this to sort of help these business owners start to figure out maybe what their business is going to look like in a year. And it might be 80% the same or 50% the same, or none of us are quite certain, but we know it won't be 100% the same. And a lot of these digital tools that they put in place might actually allow them to grow their revenue actually beyond what it was before, right?
Exactly.
So when you think of, some of the restaurants, if you're doing delivery or creation of food and wine kits that you can build during the day, during the week when you're not typically busy, this is new incremental revenue that you didn't have before. And similarly for retailers, if you're able to obviously ship directly to customers either in your neighborhood or outside that are different from the customers that typically walked into your store before, new revenue stream, new profit stream. So we're going to be bringing a lot of these folks to help people be able to understand what the business is going to look like on the other end of all of this.
No, that's great. This fits in so perfectly with this Cresa Cares project that we're working. And the whole concept is to survive and prosper when you come out of COVID-19, which speaks to exactly what you're talking about. If you can pivot, adapt, you're gonna build your business in the process. So one other question I wonder, if somebody's already got a bit of a roadmap, a bit of a digital team, either they've hired an outside contractor or maybe they've hired a team, is this program still something that's available, or is it really for people who are starting from zero?
No, absolutely. It works for both. So for someone who has no one in-house that, to be able to build this, it can be built from scratch. Or if you've built 80% of this and are just looking to take it to another level, either the business owner or their digital lead could get engaged to figure out how to augment what they're already doing and incrementally add to it. So no, absolutely, we'll work with either. I
will finish my application then. Okay, unless you've got more, great. This is fantastic, Nick. Hats off to you and your team at Invest Ottawa. This is great stuff. Makes me feel good to hear it all. But if you have anything else to say, throw it in right now.
No, that's it. I just wanted to thank you, Martin, for what you're doing and helping spread the word. And we love working with you guys at Cresa. And this is a great example of why we love working with you. This is an awesome what you're doing.
Right on. Well, thanks for taking the time, and I'm glad we got the scoop here on the radio station.
Awesome.
We hope this video was helpful. For further information on today's topic, or to see other Cresa Cares content, click the link. To connect with us directly, just email us. And of course, share this with anyone you think would benefit.